What's going on, everybody? This be your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and
Jamar 4.
we're back. We haven't had no interviews in a while, but we're back.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year! This is the first interview of 2022. Okay, now, listen. I know y'all used to us having an interview every damn week, but it just ain't been that way these last couple of months. We've been a little slow on interviews the last couple of months because the shows have come out. All the shows ain't out at the same time like they was before. You know what I mean? Like we had so many shows at the same time. Period.
They
But
coming though.
but they coming. So we're gonna be some busy bitches after in a minute though. We're gonna be busy bitches. Trust me. We're gonna be busy. But right now we just getting it how we live though. But before we bring in our special guest, I just wanna do this. I just wanna let you guys know that Boys Night Out will be back, but next Saturday, not Friday, but Saturday. Okay, we're moving to Saturdays for the next few weeks due to the fact that RuPaul's Drag Race is on Fridays. Jamar and Maddie cover the show. They have a panel surrounded around the show. So for the next few weeks, we will be on Saturday nights for the time being. It's very temporary. But for the time being, you'll get to see Josiah, myself, Maddie, Jamar, and Terrence live and on color. Live and in color, not uncolored. Live in color on the Saturday nights. That's if this bitch that's on the other side of
Child, look, I ain't saying shit because I don't know what
she's
life gonna look like.
she's a producer, she's an actress.
Look, am so
An actress, co-host to 2 panel shows, this one and Boys Night Out. Also my best bitch, and that's a job within itself. So yeah. Hey, we got to get it popping. But anyways, without any further ado, our guest tonight is probably one of my favorite people on the come up. You know what I mean? And I ain't just saying it because they're coming up here. I'm just saying that because it's real. Because I've interviewed folks that I ain't even like on these shows, and it is what it is. However, when it come down to it, it's one of my favorite people, probably one of my favorite new additions to this show. Okay, so let's bring in Anthony.
Hi
Anthony
guys.
with the beat face, Anthony with the blonde hair, Anthony just beat.
okay, come on.
You know the vibes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We're so happy to have you. And we could give you, your own introduction. We could say all the things about you that we like, but we're going to give you a chance to tell us from your mouth who you are, what it is that you do, and an interesting fact about yourself that the fans of the show may not know.
Okay, well, my name is Anthony. I'm 25 years old. I'm a makeup artist here in Atlanta, Georgia. I do a lot of other things though as well. I don't think a lot of people know, but I did go to school to be a master esthetician. So I can do things all the way from just like the floofy stuff, facials, waxing, all the way up to medical grade things. So I can fire a laser, do laser hair removal, laser skin resurfacing, body sculpting modules. Stuff like that. I just kind of fell in love with the makeup beauty aspect of my course and my education in that. So I went that route. I moved to Atlanta when I was 23. So actually next month will be 2 years that I've been in Atlanta. So I love it here. My opportunities here have just gone through the roof. I've met such amazing people, and yeah, I love it here. But I'm so happy to be here with you guys. I'm thrilled.
I'm definitely gonna have to hit you up about that laser hair removal because I haven't been able to find what I have to look for real. Here in Atlanta, I used to have one in LA that I love to go to, but it's about that time again.
So, no, yeah, whatever. I know some places here in Atlanta that are good and have good reviews and everything. Yes.
We'll speak after the show. Mm-hmm.
Here he is.
Right.
So, what was it that initially inspired you to do makeup? Just your own personal creativity, or where that spawned from?
So, honestly, I started out with makeup through my aesthetic program. When I was younger, I always did foundation on myself and stuff like that, but nothing crazy. When I was an aesthetic student, MAC Cosmetics was having a master class. So basically, if you're a professional, if you're a student that's going into a profession that has makeup in it, so cosmetology, esthetician, even just makeup school, stuff like that, you can attend these classes where these master makeup artists for MAC, which basically are the people that do the makeup for the, like, you know, the big billboards you see, or New York Fashion Week, or music videos. So like it was at that time Chris Sembellin, I believe his name is. He was our celebrity or master makeup artist that came and did a class. So I went to that class with one of my peers, and I just fell in love with the aesthetic of MAC. Everybody was in all black. Everybody was beat down. There was every single race, every single gender. I loved it. And everybody was just bomb. I was like, yes. So I really got intrigued through that. And then literally one of the people that worked there was like, do you work for us? And I was just like, no. And he was just like, you need to work for us. And I was like, okay. So I give him my resume. And that's how I got on board with MAC Cosmetics. And I was with MAC Cosmetics for about 4 going on 5 years. Transferred down here to Atlanta with them. I was in my management position. And then COVID hit. And after that, it was just never the same. They started cutting pay, positions. There was just no growth anymore. And I was kind of just like stuck. I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, this was kind of what I was like waiting on, you know, like I wanted to keep growing with the company and eventually become either like a trainer or that, you know, master artist and be doing the billboard makeup, stuff like that. But I just took a leap of faith and quit on a whim, went and got my mixology license for bartending just in case. It was just a little backup plan, like, hey, if my makeup business doesn't jump off, at least I have something I can go do at the nighttime to fund my business for doing makeup.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I haven't had to get that, you know, to go bartend. I've been very booked and busy. I've been very blessed. So yeah, that's kind of my journey to makeup and to entrepreneurship.
That's dope because I know I dabble. I haven't done professional. Like I just kind of do my own shit and just find out what works for me. But I know there's so much. Like I worked for Sephora for like maybe a few months, and just from that very short time, I saw so many of the different techniques and the different things that just go into like skincare and then application, color theory, all of that stuff. It's so much more complex than it looks in a regular YouTube tutorial. And Anthony showed you what it looks like to just look like you belong somewhere, even though you weren't even an employee yet, but you look like you should be. And so that puts you in that position. So I'm like, y'all, I'm telling y'all, just look professional, look the part. You never know who's paying attention.
Exactly. That's one of my biggest mottos is you never know who's watching. Never. So you always want to put your best foot forward, present yourself to the best of your ability. And like I said, you never know who's watching. So
Yeah,
So
child,
tell
because
us. Oh, go ahead.
Jamar. Yeah, Jamar is into makeup. Here, he's so far into makeup that he wants to play in my face. No, ma'am.
Now look, Anthony knows. Doesn't he have good bone structure?
Yes, he does. And you have really good skin naturally. So you would be one of those people that like once you put it on, it would just enhance everything like that.
I said, live the fantasy one good time. Just one good time.
If I ever let you do that, don't take no pictures.
I mean, my portfolio though.
If you take pictures, don't post them. I would never talk to you again.
Y'all are funny.
So, who would you say are your top 3, if you have more, top 3 makeup or beauty influences today?
Amrezy, I love her. She was originally a MAC girl too. So Amrezy, I don't know if y'all know him, Patrick Ta. He's a makeup artist. He has his own makeup brand now. He's really amazing. He's just really good at just like really pretty like red carpet makeup. And like special award makeup. Like I love watching his YouTube videos on the girls that he does. So Amrezy, Patrick Ta, And who else? I feel like there's so many now. Like, I just don't even know.
And it could just be skin. It could be even just style, just any line of beauty. Just like where does like your aesthetic come from? Like a combination of who?
So definitely those two. Those two are really big influences.
Hmm.
And then also, I don't know. I would just say Kim K, like the Kardashians. Like, I know people always want to come for them, but I don't give a fuck. Those girls, like, listen, they got the money, so they did what they needed to do to look the way they do, and they look fab. So I would say those people are like a really big influence on my aesthetic. I wouldn't say like my
Hmm.
personality, but my aesthetic of like the way I like to look and do my makeup.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so next question. What are your preferred pronouns, and are you still identifying as non-binary? Because I know on the show you identify as non-binary, and me being a person that's, even though that's I'm a part of the LGBT community, I'm still learning certain parts of the community, and I never knew what non-binary was up until Chasing LA, when this character by the name of Fran came up and was saying that they were non-binary, and I did not know what that meant until they explained it. So sometimes I still slip up and say, he or whatever, you know what I mean? So whatever. So if I ever said it, please don't take offense. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about it. So what are your preferred pronouns, and are you still going as non-binary?
Yes, I still identify as non-binary. I would say honestly, pronouns to me, I know it sounds like the people that are non-binary are probably like, oh my God, but pronouns to me really aren't a big deal. Because like to me, someone could say he and it doesn't bother me. Someone could say they, it doesn't bother me. Someone could say she, it doesn't bother me. So to
Mhm.
me, the way I classified myself as non-binary is just knowing who I am. Like I don't care how I'm going to be perceived by other people. To me, I feel like I'm gender fluid. Like internally, I feel like the way I think and the way I date and the way I present myself and the way I just live my life, I really feel like I have those female tendencies, but I also have those male tendencies. So when it comes to pronouns, it's really not that serious to me, honestly, because I feel like I have both genders like within me. So it's like if you want to call me she, great. If you want to call me he, great. They, great. It doesn't bother me. Now, what bothers me is when people are like disrespectful about it and like, like just like say just like rude things like, no, you're a boy, blah, blah, like, like stuff like that is weird to
Mm.
me. But
Yeah.
he, they, she, it doesn't matter to me. But yes, I still identify as non binary.
Look,
Okay.
I use them all, baby. I use them all.
So we know that you have celeb clients. So would you ever do a makeup line on your own?
Yes. So I actually currently have my lash line that I started. I did like a trial um launch. So I bought like 75 pairs of lashes, different styles, and I put them in my own like labeling and boxing and logos and packaging, everything like that. And it was a really big hit. I like did like 12 really big orders on like in like the first 24 hours and sold out of like 6 styles like in the first 24 hours. And I did not expect that, but um do I see myself adding onto it? Absolutely. I want to add glosses to my website. I think that's my next big step. Like doing this process, I kind of was thinking, I was like, why didn't I start with glosses first? Because I feel like I'm more known for like the way I do my lips and like my gloss on every episode was always popping. It's like I should have done that, but it's okay. Like it's a learning experience when you're like doing this stuff. Like you kind of just I know now that's what I should have started with, and that's fine. I'm going to add it to it. I'm going to build more and more. But yes, I currently have a lash line, but I do want to build more to that empire.
Okay, I think that kind of coincides with this next question. So, besides makeup and beauty, are there any other business ventures that you want to tap into besides makeup and beauty?
Yeah, I think, you know, I said this too out on like throughout the season. I think everybody wants to put you in a box and say this is what you can only do and this is what you can like this is what you have to be about. But me, like I feel like I'm a jack of all trades. Like I have bartended private events with my one of my best girlfriends, made money off doing that. I do my online lash line, doing that. I also have done acting and modeling. A lot of people don't know that. I've done background work for a Stars series and a Nickelodeon series, and I am currently signed to a modeling agency. It's just I haven't really put a lot of effort into it, if that makes sense. I kind of just put a lot of my time into makeup because that's my bread and butter and that's what I pay my bills with.
Mm.
So I do have all these other avenues, and I kind of think I just want to eventually build myself up to just be this mogul of just like being able to do everything. I want to be on the cover of things, but I also want to be behind the scenes doing the makeup, and then I also want to have my own brands, and I also want to be doing reality TV, and you know what I mean? I kind of want to do everything, and yeah. Basically, to answer your question, yeah, I see myself going in a whole bunch of different avenues for sure.
So, well, I definitely wish you luck because I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, period.
I was just about to mention you, Jamar, because it's like being that me and him are YouTubers and we started off as YouTubers, people probably expect for us to just remain YouTubers and not go above to be something else. Like at this point, me and him are YouTubers. We work together on this particular show, and then we work together on another show on Boys Night Out. Then he is acting, he's producing, and all of that other stuff. And even with me, I've had this conversation with him. Like I write, so I'm interested in turning some of the stuff that I wrote into web series. Like web series are a thing now. So
Mm-hmm.
like I've written like several books that's never been published, and I have one book that's like 13, 14 volumes of it that could be 14 seasons of a damn web series at this point. So web series are a thing. So just to see him do start off with me doing what we're doing, and then he's branching out into other avenues, that makes me want to do the same thing. So it's always good
Yeah.
to get out of the box and do something else.
Mm.
Absolutely. And I think that's great that you're surrounding yourself with someone that is doing those things. That's very big. You always want to surround and have people in your circle that are doing things that are going to inspire you and not, drain your energy or anything, and really put you on to new things. And I think that's great. I think you guys should do it. Like, listen, I didn't think web series were that big until I joined this show, and then I realized the impact it really had, and I was like, well, shit, like, like damn. So, I mean, for sure, and I mean, you guys are doing me great. Like, look at the little, like, you guys made that flyer. You guys do this very professionally. So, I mean, you guys are on the right track. I'm here for it.
Listen, we are
I'm
in
just
the better.
saying.
I keep saying this every time someone says that we are in a way better place than we was about 2 years ago. Like we pushed ourselves, so we're here now.
Yes.
Thank God. So since you
Yes.
mentioned that the Come Up Atlanta, we're gonna go ahead and deep dive and swerve lanes for a sec. So I'll see. I want to know this because I remember because the Come Up season 3 that we saw wasn't the original Come Up season 3 that was supposed to happen, and you, I believe, was supposed to replace someone from this season. A Sky Valentine. Is that true, or is that just the hearsay fumblings amongst the internet?
Now, as for me technically being his replacement, that was never said to me in my audition. So I was never told like, hey, we need you to replace somebody. You know what I mean? It was just more
Mhm.
so I auditioned like everybody else, and Karan had wrote me back and said, hey, I want to have a phone interview with you. I like what I see on your Instagram. I like your audition. I like what you're bringing. So let's talk about it. Never in my audition did he say, you're replacing so and so, or I need you to take their spot. do I think I was casted because he wasn't there anymore? Absolutely. I think so. Like, you know, he needed somebody else to take that place. You know what I mean? He couldn't just like go in with 6 people. He wanted to have that 7th person. And out of the people he interviewed, he chose me. So yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
that works for us too, because then we wouldn't be here today.
Right.
Exactly.
So, how did you come across the platform initially, and what made you initially interested in joining?
I honestly don't know exactly how I came across Gemini Films. I can't like put my finger on it. I know it was through Instagram,
Mm.
but I don't know how it popped up on my homepage. Because I'm from Seattle. You know what I mean? So I'm
Uh,
like, I'm trying to think in my head, who was I following that had this series? You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think.
mm,
I don't know. Like I just came across it one day. And then on quarantine is honestly when I started watching everything. I had watched bits and pieces of the Come Up Atlanta season 2, but I didn't watch the whole thing. So what I did is I went back and I watched all of season 2. I didn't watch season 1. I don't know why I couldn't really get into season 1. So I started watching season 2
You watched the right
and
one.
huh?
You watched the right one.
But yeah, no, I watched season 2 and then I watched the Miami season. And then that's when I like followed Quran and followed Gemini Films and yeah, I still I watched a little bit of the New York, but I didn't watch all of it. But Miami and Atlanta are the ones that I watched. And I was like, okay, I saw his vision and I saw what he was trying to do. And I was here for it. I was like, okay, let me see what this is about.
oh, well, I mean, essentially, that's how a lot of these shows started. I think we interviewed Lauren England, and she was like one of the originals for Chasing Atlanta, and she found out from it on Jacked. So you
Listen,
Chasing Atlanta
listen,
started as
okay?
an
It's all
ad
about
on
that
Jacked.
promo because like we said, you never know who's watching.
That I mean, that's
Listen,
absolutely true. So, what would you say was your biggest takeaway from being a part of the not the chasing, the Come Up Atlanta platform?
My biggest takeaway, I think, just stay true to yourself because I feel like there's some people in the cast that aren't true to themselves and they try to be something they're not,
mm,
and that shows. And you get I just don't like how I'm watching some people back and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you did not, like, why were you acting one way in my face and then in green screens acting that way? Like, you didn't give me all that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think my biggest thing, and even when I watch reality TV, like Real Housewives, um, The Real World, when that was like a big thing, even just Bad Girls Club, you know what I mean? You can always tell when somebody is just trying too hard. And it's just
Hmm.
like, that makes me cringe, like thinking about that. So I think my biggest takeaway was like I went into it knowing like, okay, I need to be authentically myself, and
Hmm.
I don't want to be that bitch that's walking in here doing too much. And I stayed true to myself the whole time. And if I do get asked to come back, I want to continue to just being authentically myself.
That's great. That's great. That's definitely the approach that I would have, and I feel like is the best way because once you try to produce yourself, it becomes very mixy and like you said, you can tell, you can see it. Like inauthenticity is very easy to spot.
Yeah.
very. You can tell when somebody being. Uh, so this is my favorite part of these interviews when we interview these people from the web series. We have to dive right into what I call the mess.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you take us through your first meeting that you had with Pyro and Messiah? And in your words, why do you think Pyro gave you such a hard time?
It was definitely a lot. Like I expected some heat. Don't get me wrong. I expected some heat, but I did not expect to be like interrogated like that. I was just like really thrown off. I was just like, who is this bitch? Like, who do they think they are? Like, But my thing is when you look at me, you don't think I'm gonna be giving you much. But this mouth, I was not raised like no punk, okay? So you ain't about to try to interrogate me and not get something back. But anyways, I would say my first impression, love Messiah. He was always really sweet. The first time I met him, loved him. And Pyro was just very, I think he was just trying to see what I was about, trying to like, see like, oh, what's he gonna give? Like, can I walk all over this kid? Can I do what I want, whatever to this kid? I think he was just trying to see if I'm really about it. And yeah, I mean, I showed him. I was just like, I'm like, don't play with me, girl. Like, don't play with me.
I was glad. I say, come on, she better hold her own. I was like, all right.
Right. Okay, so when you brought that book back to Pyro's event, was that a sign of like an olive branch or was it shade?
Olive branch. So like, I said it. We touched base on this at the reunion too, but I don't. So I'll like kind of lightly touch it here, but I brought it and was like, listen, it's not that serious. Like, you didn't invite me to this event. It's really like, I don't know why you didn't, because like I said, it's not that serious. I don't know you. We don't have an issue. Here's the book bag. Like, can we just like move forward? And you see us like shake hands. So when we shook hands, I had thought, everything, like we had squashed everything. Like he was just like, okay, like he was like laughing, but I was like, I want you to come to the love event. Oh, but I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. Like I'll come. And then I go on social media, and that's when he was just talking mess about, oh, the new girls, this and that. And that's why I was so annoyed, because I was just like, didn't we just squash everything in person? Like, didn't we just shake hands? So that's why I know everyone's like, well, that's messy. Why did you go up to his event? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, because that's messy of him to sit there and, handshake with me and be like, no, we're cool. You know what I mean? And then go there in the comments and talk mess about me. It was just like, I'm like, what? Like, you're creating an issue that shouldn't even be there.
Yeah, that's true. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like some
understand.
people just do it just for the sake of like drumming up attention for the show, but it's like at least let me in on it so I can know the difference if that's the case, because that's what I've heard too.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like, I leave, like, all the comments and everything to the viewers. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like as, like, a cast member, I shouldn't be in there, like, talking about this season. Or, like, feeding into what it's going to be giving. You know what I mean? I think we should leave that to the trailers and the promos so people will actually tune in. I just don't think it was necessary for him to go out of his way and comment that stuff about the new girls. But yeah.
I can see that, yeah.
Okay, so when it comes down to the physical altercation between you, Pyro, and Leon, first of all, what was going through your mind and how in the hell did you end up on the ground? Because me and Jamar was talking about this earlier today when we were coming up with our questions and stuff like that. And we were going back and forth about how it actually happened. And the shit happened so fast that we really can't
So
tell
fast.
what happened. So what was going through your mind and what actually happened that led you to, land on the ground like that? And the shit looked like it hurt. I just got to say that. It looked like it hurt. Like hell.
No, I mean, like, it was a lot. So when me, Messiah, and Judy were sitting there, it's not to blame production, but it was like, they told us, like, we want y'all to sit right here. And then, like, they'll sit over there and, like, we can just talk. I'm like, okay, for sure. So we did that. We just sat over there. And to be honest, I didn't think I was going to be the one that was fighting. I really thought it was going to be Judy, because Judy was the one that was the most upset. And Judy was the one that was like, nobody's going to do nothing about it. Like, God, nobody's going to touch me. Nobody's going to do nothing about it. And was like in their face. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes, I made a few comments here and there. I was like, you're weird. Like I said, like, you're weird or something like that. And then I don't know what else I said, but like, y'all seen it. Like, I really was just sitting there, like, drinking my drink. I really wasn't doing too much. I wasn't sitting there being like, oh, I'll beat your ass. Like, I don't give that. That's not me. So the moment he stepped down those steps and I seen him walking to get that margarita mix, because my eyes were on him the whole time. Okay. Like, I was always raised, if you're fighting with somebody and they go behind your back, you follow them, because you don't know what the fuck they're doing. So I was watching him and I knew I knew. Like, when he got that margarita mix, I was like, I don't even give a fuck who he throws it on. Like, something's gonna go down. Like, it's not about to just us up and leave. It's gonna go down. And then he turns to me. He's like, I'm not gonna fight you, but I'm gonna throw this drink on you. And I say it like, I don't know if you guys can hear it. Like, I faintly say, I'm like, if you throw that on me, you're gonna get one right back on you. And then so he threw it, and then I threw my drink, and then honestly, you guys, it happened so fast. And I think that's why I'm so irritated why everybody was getting on Messiah and Judy's head about it, because really there was nothing they could have done because it happened like that. Like, literally, Leon mushed me, and then I was kicking for my life. Okay, I was like, I'm not letting nobody touch his face. Like, you're not touching the face. Like, I will kick you bitches off of me. So that's when I kicked Leon, and then he kind of pushed me more closer to the edge. And then that's when Pyro grabbed my foot and pulled me off. So Leon didn't push me off the balcony, it was Pyro pulled me off.
Oh, okay.
So when Pyro pulled me
That's what I
off,
thought.
and I say it in the show too, I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, when I hit that motherfucking ground, I hit that motherfucking ground. But my thing is, and I say this at, like, I mean, we touched base again at the reunion about a lot of stuff too. Pyro gagged. He got on that floor with me. I don't know how, but somehow I pulled his ass down there with me, and we were rumbling in the mud for a second. And he doesn't show the whole altercation. If you notice, like, the camera almost is like sitting, like the camera shot was like on the hot tub for like a bit of it while we were on the floor. Like, you see me get pulled off, and like the camera shot's like on the hot tub what we were sitting on like the balcony thing, and then it goes to us, and then you see us like almost like separated but on the floor. And then you see me kind of like hitting, and then him like getting up and then dragging me by my shirt. I had a feeling I was gonna get into it with Pyro at some point during the season, just because I knew his history. Like, he fights, and you know, I knew he was gunning for me. So I kind of seen it happening at some point. I just did not think it was gonna happen that night because, like I said, Judy was the one that was like calling everybody out and was, you know, doing it. And then we all were just like, what the fuck? Like, when he like came at me, I was just like, where is this? Like, why did it just get or like switched up? Like, what? Like, it just didn't make sense. But it happened really, really fast. And Milan went and grabbed like napkins to like get all the mud off of me. Judy picked up my purse and like all my belongings and like pulled me up to the porch to separate me, and then Messiah like walked me out, and yeah, it was a lot.
Baby, I just was thinking, like, what was the distance? I'm like, because when I'm imagining getting pulled and bring down, I'm thinking like if it's like at least like over 2 feet, I'm worried like, do you have trauma to the head, back problems? You have to go see like a chiropractor, like those. I'm just like, is he okay?
Right, because
like, as I'm sure Gemini doesn't come with like any sort of insurance. We just out here filming a show for free. Like, I'm not about to face permanent damage to my body.
Yeah.
For no show.
No, and that's my thing too. Is like, I just didn't get it. I was just like, why were you doing all this for shit that for a fucking web series? Like, why are you attacking somebody? Like, it didn't make sense to me. But the distance, it was high, y'all. Like, because you had to step up like 5 steps to get up to it. And then think about it, we were on top of the hot tub, so we're like where the balcony was. It was probably like a good 5 feet, 6 feet. Yeah, like probably like, it was probably almost like my height, like a 5'8", 5'9" area. So I got pulled off and landed in that mud. I mean, thankfully I was fine. Like, my back like was hurting for a few days, but it wasn't anything crazy. And yeah.
All right. Well, so as long as you good, that's all.
I was good. Yeah, I know a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, that fall." It hurt. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, in the moment, my adrenaline was going, so I didn't really feel it. It was more so like when I got home and like the next couple of days is when I felt it. But it just felt like trying to think of like what the kind of like, it just felt really sore. Like almost like I worked out my back like a lot or something like that. It was just really sore. But yeah, I was fine, y'all. I mean, I held my own. Like y'all seen, like I did what I had to do when I got on that ground, and yeah.
Okay, all right. I was trying to figure out what the name or what it was that you called this event, and I couldn't think of any other way to describe it other than the sex kitten event. The one with the dick straws and the asses were out. There was nudity. There was thighs open, and
That you
I mean,
enjoy.
listen. Mind your business, okay? Mind your business. But when you talked about the different angles that they had with the past altercation, they had this uh, leading up to Judy insinuating at one point that Milan had also messed around with Leon, and they sort of chopped and screwed it a little bit. Like, did that actually play out accurately on the episode as it was being taped? Because I felt like there was a lot of context lost because it was like she said it and then we just kind of moved on and it wasn't really addressed directly after that.
So it was kind of weird because I think he like ended one of the episodes with her saying it, and then he started one of the episodes of like what happened before she said it. So I think there was a lot of confusion of like, wait, like why are we going back when she already just said, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think it played out accurately. I think we were just talking about, Dion was sitting there and was like, well, I heard blah blah, like trying to like lean into it like without saying it, and then that's when Messiah was like, girl, what do you need to say? Like, what do you want to ask? Because like you keep like, like hinting towards it, but you're not saying it. So what is it? And then that's when Dion was like, well, I heard blah, blah, blah. And then Judy was like, well, who did you hear that from? And then that's when he said Milan. And that's when Judy was like, well, Milan, do you tell her like your tea? Like, and she's like, what tea? She's like, you know what tea? It really wasn't discussed. Like now that I think about it, we didn't really discuss it that much that night. What had happened, I feel like once everybody left, I feel like is when Milan probably hit up Darion and then was like, hey, I just want to let you know this is coming out. This happened years ago, blah, blah, blah. And then that's why you guys see at the wig party, because the wig party was the next day. Or like, yeah, we had my like lingerie party and then we had the wig party the next day. So that all conspired like overnight. So it was very, very quick. So that's why I feel like you see in this last episode, the wig party, like Judy's like, what the fuck? Like, how did this all like, did you all just like sit there overnight and just like talk about everything? Like, I'm so confused. So, yeah, I really what you see is what you get. It wasn't really discussed much deeper that night. Now that I think about it, which is weird. Like, I feel like we probably should have talked about it a little bit more
Yeah,
deep.
that's what I was
Because I
expecting.
get what you're saying. It's kind of confusing.
Yeah, because I know I was confused, child. I'm like, is it over? Like,
That's it? We gonna walk out like that?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Well, that actually tied in a lot to, or you had hinted into part of the next question was this wig party that we just saw. Which, side note, now that I think about it, who has your favorite wig outside of Milan Heel Count? Who has your favorite
Outside of
wig?
Milan,
Yeah.
Judy just always looks fish. Like she looks so fishy in her wig. So I would say her, but Messiah's wig had me fucking dying. That bitch had me dying when we got off the car and she put on that Joanne the Scammer wig. I said, oh my God. But y'all, Messiah is really like that in real life. He is really funny. Like, I really feel like he's probably one of the funniest people I know. Like, hilarious.
I said, what the hell does Messiah have on his head? Is that like a raccoon? Like, is it like,
You said
what
a
is
raccoon.
that? I don't know. Like, what is this? I was like, what's he said, Joanna? I'm like, oh.
I'm dead. Yes, it was hilarious.
But how did that sort of just all go downhill so fast? Like, because you were pretty much out of it. You were gonna able to spectate this for the most part. And it was like 1 minute we're taking selfies, we're letting Dion get her Tony Braxton fantasy on, and next thing you know, it's like, all right, bitch, I'm ready to fight. I'm like, wait.
So, if you guys can tell, like, this was the point where I was so over filming. Like, this was the point where I was over being around Pyro. this was a point where I was over just like making time out of my busy schedule to come be around everybody, and it just go to shit because it goes to shit every single time. I feel like the only time it didn't go to shit was my lingerie party, and even then it was still some drama. So
Right.
I was just over it. I was so drained. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be around these bitches. Like, I don't. So that's why I paid it. I was just like, I'm not getting up. I'm not fighting with nobody. I don't give a shit about none of these bitches, like, except for my 2 girls. And I know they can hold their own. So I'm like, I'm just going to sit here. Milan had, like, actually, I don't want to go too deep into it because we talk about more details at the reunion. But what I will say is we gagged when Pyro came around that corner and said, so I already know the situation. So Messiah, just meet me outside. I was just like, oh my God. Like, it just happened so quick. I was like, what the fuck? Like, not again. And like, you don't see it, but I kept like holding Messiah's like leg. I was like, sister, just sit down. Like, just pay it. Like, don't even get up. Like, don't pay it no mind. Like, we've had so many conversations off camera about how we did not want to get on this show and act an ass and just like fight because that's just not what we give in real life. You know what I mean? So we're like, I don't want to sit up here and just be fighting bitches every episode. Like, so we had an agreement of like, we would try to diffuse each other, like if like shit kept getting out of hand. So I was just like, Messiah, like, pay it, like don't even pay attention to the girl, like let her be crazy, but just sit there and be cute, like don't let it bother you. So but we were gagged when he came around that corner.
What were Leon and Judy going back and forth about? Because they went outside for a bit, while Milan was sort of consoling Pyro, kind of, and then they came back, and I feel like Leon had the spatula in Judy's face, and they were just yelling back. I'm like, wait, what are y'all talking about? Like,
they were talking about her spilling the tea on Milan and Leon.
Oh, girl.
So he was just basically like saying like, girl, keep my name out your mouth. Like, why are you talking about me? Why are you talking about this situation? Blah, blah, blah. And that's when Judy was like, well, she's like, I technically didn't spill it. Like, Milan did. And then that's when they were just like going back and forth. But yeah, I mean, Judy was, you could see in that episode, she was over filming too at that rate. Like, there was just so much that happened this season, and that this was towards the end of it. So we were just like, oh my God, like, this is just too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was.
I mean, it's entertaining.
Entertaining. And that's what I'm saying. Like, now that it's over, I'm like, we put on a good season. Like, we really did. And my thing is a lot of people sit here and think like, oh, is this drama like fake, or did you guys like try to create storylines? I'm like, no. Like, literally everything just played out. I feel like you don't need to. Like I said, like if you put 7 people with all different personalities, and we all are kind of more of those like being our own boss, like bossy people, like there's just gonna be drama. There's gonna be people that don't fuck with each other. There's gonna be people that love each other, and like that you can see those intimate relationships, and you can see the altercations between like enemies, and it's just like it was a lot. Like, this whole experience was very bittersweet.
I could definitely see that. And y'all did tape the reunion recently, which is where Anthony and I first met on the red carpet.
Mm-hmm.
They looked very lovely.
Thank you.
And there were some things, like they were saying, that were covered in the reunion, and we can't necessarily talk about too much. But what I will say, I was like, I was so proud.
Thank you.
I'm so proud.
Thank you.
How would you describe the reunion in 3 words?
Intense. I don't know, like 3 words. Like, I would say intense. For me, it was like more of like emotional rage. Like, I would say I was more emotionally like mad at people. So like you see me just, y'all are gonna see a different side of me at the reunion. I kept it real cute, and I say this, but at the reunion, like I was very nice all season to these girls, and I have a different side of me that like I don't like to show, but I'm gonna just say I'll leave it at this. I came in to do what I needed to do, and I read some bitches to filth that deserved it, and that's that.
Like I said, I was so proud.
Thank you, thank you. And you know what's crazy is like a lot of people in the audience were telling me that they're like, you did not come to play today. They're like, I'm like here for this. I'm just like, well, I just don't like people playing in my face, being nice to me. Even behind when the foot like camera stop rolling, you're being nice to me, kissing my ass, and then once you get in the green screen, you have all these things to say about my looks and this and that and my race and my ethnicity. It was the weirdest fucking shit. I was just like, this is so weird. Like, I've never gotten this in my life. Like, you people are real life weirdos. Like, so yeah.
Okay.
And well, before we move on to the next one, I thought about this just out of curiosity. Who, in your opinion, was the best dressed and the worst dressed at the reunion?
Best dressed, I would say Judy. I liked her gown. Like her gown was very like but I loved my outfit. I almost want to get myself best dressed. But I'm but other than me, Messiah and Judy, but we're those type of girls that have to get something like we take this serious. We want to present ourselves well, you know what I mean? So I would say Judy. Worst. The only reason why I'm saying worst is because they didn't go with the theme. Because there was a theme that was presented and you didn't go with it. So I would just say Pyro just because he didn't go with the theme.
It was a different perspective of the.
No, the theme was yellow. You needed to be like.
It was like rust.
Yeah.
It was like a rusty gold.
And same with Xeon. He had mustard. I'm like, you guys, it was yellow. Like, let's bring yellow. What did we not get the memo here?
So yeah. I know my ass. Bitch, I love drag. I'm coming as Tweety or as Big Bird or something ridiculous. But go ahead, Scotty. Go ahead.
Okay. So what is your relationship like today with Leon and Pyro, if you can speak on it?
I can't speak on it. You guys are gonna have to watch. I can't. You guys have to watch. What I will say, even though he doesn't like my friend, and I will always have my friend's back in any situation, I will say I'm very proud of him. I will say that. Like, me and him may not fuck with each other like that, but what I will say, I've seen growth, and I think he needed to watch himself back to like really like be like, okay, I was doing a lot. You know what I mean? I think he needed that, and I'll just say that. Yeah, like I think you just have to watch. I can't get too much into it because yeah.
It was at the reunion.
It was we like me and him like we had stuff going on in the reunion. We kind of went back and forth, and then you just have to watch it.
Okay, because
I tried, y'all.
Okay, so what advice would you give someone that's trying to get into the world of beauty and reality TV?
Beauty, I would say practice, education, and consistency, and good work ethic. Like, there's so many people here that I hear horror stories of makeup artists and hairstylists, estheticians, all that like cancel last minute or like just no call, no show on appointments. So if you want to stand out, you have to show up and show out. You have to be on time and you have to execute a look that they wanted. So work ethic, consistency, and education and practice for the beauty part. For reality TV, I would say I don't think you ever really know what you're signing up for. Like, you may think like, oh, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be this and that. Don't get me wrong, I had a very great experience. Yes, there was very rocky roads, and there was times where I was like, what the fuck did I sign up for? Like, why am I even here? But now that it's all over, it was a good experience. I would just say, if you're going into it, like I said before, be yourself. Don't try to put on a show. Don't try to be a character. Don't try to be something you're not, because it's going to show on camera and you're going to get called out for it. And then who you really are is going to show. So you're just going to look a mess. Like, just be who you are.
Okay, child, because people have been trying to get me and Jamar to do reality web series for a while now, and I keep saying no.
Why? Why don't you want to do
it? Because I produce a couple. I've seen it happen. No, thank you.
What I will say too is, I feel like you have to have thick skin, because, baby, that comment section.
We know about the comments.
Listen, no shit. I read the comments. I don't care. Like, what I will say is, I think next season going into it, I don't want to read the comments, because there's people that live for you, and then there's people that don't fuck with you at all, and they can just say the meanest shit. You just have to have thick skin and know who you are, and just be like, listen, these people don't know you. They're watching you for 40 minutes, one day a week. Like, they don't know you on a daily basis. So it's just like, you have to just have thick skin, because they be eating you up in those comments sometimes. Like, some days they'll live for you, and some days they'll be like, oh, I don't fuck with him anymore, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just like, whoa, you guys, calm down.
Well, the thick skin part ain't nothing for me, because me and Jamar been on YouTube for some years now. So we used to people dragging us or praising us. Like, not necessarily saying that they drag us like that, because, to be honest, I don't think we get much negativity, but the negativity we have gotten.
Yeah. I just feel like it's hard to have a problem with us. Like, we mind our business, we do our thing, and keep it pushing, and just pay our bills. Like, that's it.
And that's the reason why I don't want to do reality TV, because it's gonna bring that side of me that Jamar met me with years ago, and I don't have time for that, because that side of me already came out the other night on TTB, and I'm really disappointed in myself about
that. I think I've seen a little clip of that, actually.
Oh God, don't even talk about it, because I am so ashamed.
Well, that side.
But see, and that's what I mean too, is like the whole, like, you do stuff and you're like, fuck, was I like, did I act out of character, like, too bad? You know what I mean? It's stuff like that you kind of second guess. But sometimes you gotta act out of character to let people know who the fuck you are. Like,
and everybody's a fun place to be. And everybody supported me after I showed my ass, and I'm still looking like, that's not good. That's not good.
No, I feel it. I feel it.
But she deserved it, though. She did deserve it.
That bitch deserved every second.
So, I thought about this question as we were going, because there was another part that you had showed us on the show. How has your relationship with your father has it gotten any better since the show started, or what is your relationship today?
Yeah, no, we have gotten better. And I touched base about this at the reunion too, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but I will say our relationship has gotten better. And like at the reunion, I almost I had to breathe, because I almost started getting choked up about it, because I love my dad, and it for years it kind of ate me up, and I think for years it affected also, it's so corny to say, but daddy issues, you know what I mean? With relationships. And I think for years my relationship with my father has affected me, not only day to day and how I viewed myself, but also just in relationships with men. And I think that conversation, because y'all only saw a bit of it, Karan and them were here filming for over an hour and 30 minutes. Me and my dad were on the phone for an hour and 30 minutes, really talking about shit and getting really deep into it. So it was a conversation that needed to be had, and we are in a better place.
Well, that's good. Because I think,
That's good.
especially as LGBT youth, even though we, have friction with our parents due to our, our identities and sexuality, we still love them at the end of the day. We still want to have a relationship with them. So
And
I'm always cheering for that.
don't think that it's corny that you feel like your relationship with your dad affected your romantic relationship. 'Cause I felt the same way because even though me and my dad are in the best place, I just seen my dad because my aunt just passed, so my dad is here for her funeral. So it's like, me and my dad are in the best place. Do I talk to him every single day? Hell no, I cannot talk to him every day. But we are in the best place. Growing up, he wasn't around, and I was upset with him, for a long time. So that can sometimes when you see things your parents do, it can affect the way you look at relationships. So don't ever feel like it's corny because that shit is real. It ain't corny at all. It's real. Real talk.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
All right. Alrighty then. So this is also my favorite part of the game because I just be waiting to see what y'all gonna say. So this is a game that we play at the end of every interview where we name every person on the cast outside of yourself and you describe them in either one word or one sentence and you say exactly how you feel. And we know we do not want USA, Miss America answers. We want your opinion.
The first thing that comes to your mind, like if you were
Oh,
drunk, how would you answer these questions?
yes, if you had some truth serum in you, what would you say if these names came up? So I'm gonna start it out with the very first name, and that's Quay.
I would say adorable. Like
Yes.
Quay did stuff that like irritated me throughout the season, like little things. But like I love Quay, so I would just say adorable.
Milan.
I'm gonna say hustler because that girl, she be on her grind. Okay, she be on her grind.
Did you see it, Scotty? Because I saw it. She
You said what?
processed. She's like, I can't say that. Let me find something else to say.
Well, because I mean, like a lot of like issues that I have with people is gonna air at the reunion,
Oh, well,
so
yeah.
I don't want to get
That's
too
true.
much into it. But I would say she's a hustler. She's about her grind, and I respect that about her.
Okay, Dion.
An actress. That lady is an actress. Okay, that lady cried in every scene she was in, and not one tear came out. Like, girl.
Woo! Judy Doll.
I want to say iconic.
She said actress.
And that is a reunion. I'm so glad I went to that. I'm so glad I went to that. Woo!
Oh, I can't get over this. She said actress. Sorry.
When
I'm
that comes
sorry.
out, remember this conversation when that comes out. It's gonna
I
be even
am.
funnier.
I am. Messiah.
My sis is bad, okay? My sis is a baddie. Like she is bomb. Her personality is hilarious, and she's a good time. So she's a baddie.
And I'm gonna put these two together because they did confessionals together. Leon and Pyro.
I would just say immature. Like I just feel like the whole season, the way they handled everything was just very immature. Yeah.
I mean, and we realized, and I don't even think it was we interviewed him as well earlier or late last year, and he wasn't like 21, 22. I'm like, oh,
That makes sense.
see,
And we talk about that more too at the reunion about his age and
oh,
how
But
it
I
plays
can
like a big role.
but I can say going into that particular interview, I really didn't go into it with much of expectations, but I feel as though he owned his immaturity in the
mm,
scene in the interview. I do feel like he was owning it. So that's why the way I was kind of giving him the business on my reviews, I'm just like, okay, I get it. I
I understand.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, y'all are gonna see like too, like next week, me and him have a conversation. And I know there was like people in the comments like, "Oh, Anthony was scared. He had to have production walk him out and blah blah blah." I'm just like, girl, like because there was 4 of them, I didn't want to get jumped by people while I'm trying to go do a client's makeup. Like, what the fuck? Like, make it make sense. But me and him have a one-on-one conversation, and I tell him straight up exactly how I felt about him, and had no problem telling him how I feel. And you guys will see that next week at the finale, and then also just how everything at the reunion goes and how it all comes to an end. But yeah.
well, I definitely want to see this finale because I've already seen the other part, the good part, the good part.
Yes.
So I'm definitely looking forward to this finale. So, at the end of all of our interviews, one of the questions that we've gotten into a habit of asking our guests is, did you have a good time? Do you felt like we did our jobs as the hosts of the show? Give us your feedback.
Yeah, no, I had a good time. Y'all are very professional and a key. Y'all had me laughing. And I appreciate y'all inviting me up here to do an interview. I feel honored, so thank you.
Well, because we make this thing work, baby, because we was on a slippery slope for a minute. We didn't know how we was going to
Baby.
do this. And it came at the last minute. Okay. I told Jamar,
Period.
I said, Jamar, we may have to do this a different way. I'm probably gonna have to sit out in my car and do this interview with you.
It was about to get real retro and ghetto up
It
in
was gonna get
here.
real ghetto. Whatever. And then I was like, man, I probably should have pushed this back. Cause when he came to me with it, I was apprehensive because my aunt had just died a couple of days ago. So her funeral and stuff is tomorrow. So I was sitting up here like, I don't know. I was saying to myself, I don't know if I should do it. But then I'm like, I could just go ahead and do it and just keep myself, because I just been keeping myself busy doing all my content. So I was like, I could just go ahead and do it. And then right when I'm about to leave, something happens. So I'm like, Jamar, we may have to do this while I'm sitting in the car. Then my cousin said, well, no, I can just take you home, and then you can do your interview. Then we can come back and get you. And I'm like, okay. And then I made sure to rush their asses here so I can get this interview done. Okay. I was going to get it done by any means necessary. I was going to do it.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, and I appreciate you, still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but thank you. I mean, thank you for fitting this into that kind of hectic situation.
Yes, child. Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you for coming.
Thank you for coming here. Like, listen, we are appreciative to anybody that comes up here. You know what I mean? Like, even though we've been doing this show for, damn, Jamar's about to be 2 years.
Yeah,
It's
in
about to be
May.
2. Yeah, we've been doing this show for almost 2 years now, and we're always, we've been interviewing people for over a year. So it's always a good thing to have people. We always are appreciative to people that come up on our platform. We know that our platform isn't like the hugest platform, but whenever you guys agree to do an interview with us, I'm like, okay, well, we must be doing something right. That our names is in the street.
Listen,
Okay.
you always have to start somewhere. And like we said, you never know who's watching. So keep applying pressure and keep doing it. I'm here for it.
Awesome. But yes, we definitely thank you so much. I know I will be in touch because there are things that we can
Yeah,
talk about.
for sure.
Oh, y'all
So
gonna be in touch. Y'all do the makeup, and
I'm
y'all
just
into that.
listen.
Y'all into that kind of thing.
I told her when I told her at the after party. I'm like, we got things to discuss. We gonna keep in contact.
Period.
But
Yeah. He gonna tell me
but
about y'all little makeup conversations. He gonna tell me about all this stuff,
yes,
child.
yes.
He was like, "Girl, we was up in their house doing this makeup. He gave me these pointers, child. I can't wait to use these pointers on you." And that's when I'm gonna have to end the conversation.
That's fine because I'll
You're
bring it
so
up
funny.
again. But you're free to go. Thank you so much, Anthony, for coming onto the platform. Make sure you guys go follow and support him on all his social media platforms. Go check out his lashes. Go check out the Come Up Atlanta for the reunion and the finale. All the things.
Yes, thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No
Absolutely.
problem.
Thanks again.
But thank you for coming up.
Of course. Well, bye, y'all. Have a good night, and I'll see y'all later.
You
All
too. I'll
right.
see you soon, baby.
Bye.
All right, you guys. And that was our interview with Anthony. I enjoyed that interview.
It was good.
I think it was one of our best ones. I enjoyed
I
this
said I
one.
knew when I met her, I was like, she's a good one. I like her.
Yeah.
I like her.
Somebody, as a matter of fact, somebody from the come up just sent me a DM wanting an interview. So I'm gonna have to tell you about this when we get off of here. Because somebody just literally sent me a DM.
Might not be who I think it is because if you left me on, never mind.
They literally just sent. They like I looked down. I haven't opened up the message, but I literally just seen the DM come across my phone when I was looking at the questions.
Who it was
Like literally.
from, so I can react on camera.
I'm not telling you who it was on camera. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Who you think it
Had I
was?
met them?
You was at the reunion. Didn't you meet
Well, technically, I did. Shit, we'll just wait. I would. I mean, I'm gonna do it regardless. But I'm gonna be like, if you left me on red, bitch, I'm gonna give you a little side eye right here, just in case.
You want to know who it was? You want me to say it on here?
You don't have to. We ain't gonna. We
Oh,
gotta burst that
okay.
bubble. But I do want you to tell me in a text message so I can react on camera.
I'm finna do it now. Hold on. My cousin on his way to pick me up too, so I can go back to my damn car.
Let me see who. Oh, I guess that's what I would have guessed. Okay, no, she's good.
Okay.
She's good.
All right. What is Danita talking about?
Huh?
She said she giving us both the side eye. What is she giving us the side eye for?
Girl, listen. You have to remind me. My brain is terrible.
What she
Remind me. She wants us to interview. I don't think you've met or heard tell it. It's one of her artists and one of like me and Carl's
well,
friends down here in Atlanta. That's a rapper.
you had already told me, and I said we can do it. We just
Yeah,
never.
but it's like we hadn't put it like into motion and like
Oh,
tried to set it up. But I was
oh.
like, she sure did. Tell the people, listen,
She
what's it
said
called?
she'll text us. So yeah.
Please, because I charge it to my head, not my heart. Just
Danita don't need to be trying to try us in that damn chat. Hey, Aaron, Danita don't need to be trying us in that damn chat, child. But y'all, that's pretty much the gist of it. Okay. This is our first interview of the year. Hopefully, with everything that's coming up, we can continue on with a little bit more interviews. Because, like I said, for the last few months, the Prelude has been slow on interviews, but because there ain't been that much going on. So, we just been focusing more on boys' night out, versus the pre
mm,
at this point. So that's how we've been doing. So, yes, y'all. With that being said, we're done here, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. And it's funny how all y'all want to tune in at the end of the review, at the end of the interview. Now we got all these views at the end of the interview. Like,
I mean,
child,
it was like a consistently 40 to 50
yeah,
throughout that at least when I looked.
yeah.
So we thank y'all.
Thank you, Karee. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I'm glad that with friendship goes. I'm glad that with friendship goes, even though this bitch makes me
I don't
sick.
like that hoe. Oh,
She
did I say that out loud? Is my
disrespects
mic muted? Hold
he
on.
disrespects me every chance he gets.
He disrespects me
It's
every
really
chance that he gets.
like it's ridiculous. Like
Y'all saw her on TTV, her and Rico, just getting me together, child. Ooh, girl.
when was we getting you together?
The clip, y'all can go see the clip. Go see the clip. After she done went off on her, she went off on me.
I did not go off on you, bitch. Let's not. Aaron is in this chat. What about how you shaded him when he said, "This is the face up the top"? You said, "Girl, bye." What about that? Okay.
Look, he
Okay.
knew that was not the face of nobody.
But y'all, for real though, we gotta go, y'all, because my cousin on his way to get me so I can go back to my damn car, child.
Ooh, thank your cousin for me, because baby, without him.
Yeah. I gotta leave here and go get my car and come back because I gotta go on TTB. I'm probably gonna be late going to TTB because TTB got got a live coming out tonight about the top 10 sexiest web series stars. So that's what
I
we talking
may
about.
join you on that. I may just
Yeah.
hop on there and give
That's
my
why I'm
little
trying to
one
ask you to help me with my list. That's why I'm trying to ask you.
Maybe.
You know how I feel about certain people now, because if certain people up there, I would drop.
And I will bitch unplug and then continue about my shit.
But
But
for real,
yeah,
I'll be over there on TTB tonight. I'm probably gonna be late getting over
what
there,
time
maybe
does it
like a
start?
few minutes late. It's supposed to start 11 o'clock your time, so it's basically like 10 o'clock my time.
Oh,
So
child, the
I'll
next
be
hour.
I'll be over there a little late because I'm waiting on my cousin to come and get me so I can get back to my car and stuff and all that other stuff. So I can get my car and bring it on back home so I can be up there. But child, my list, I made my list, but now I want to change my list because I just thought about certain people on these other shows that I did not list. And I'm just like,
Because I feel like even though they didn't finish their show, Neiman is up there for me.
I wanted to name some of them because a lot of them was fine, including the producer. So mm-mm. You tell my
Yeah,
cousin to hurry up. I'm waiting on him so I can go and get my car.
not
Child,
TTB coming up in here telling people what the
let
bitch.
me tell you something about him. He be all in the damn bushes and he don't say shit until we say something about him. And you see how I said something about TTB and he hopped his ass up there and said some child. Listen, he better not be having no weirdos up here with me, child. He already done posted me acting a fool.
He posted the whole thing. Did he post just your segment too?
He posted me acting a fool. Now he didn't start it
Within
from
the 6 hours of the whole thing?
he didn't post the beginning of that conversation when I was calm and collected. He got it when I was getting elevated.
Oh,
He posted the part where I started getting elevated. And when I started screaming,
shady TTB.
Lord, and when I started giving y'all love and hip hop realness, that's the part he posted. He didn't post the part where I was giving you a good Candy Burris tea, being calm and collected. He gave the K Michelle tea. That's the part he posted. He posted the K Michelle tea. That's what he posted. He reposted the Bill Your Soul tea. That's what he put up there. So,
Uh,
child, that's just. Ugh. Even though everybody keeps saying she deserved it, I'm still mad at myself. This is not the way I
not in
act.
public. We read her in the chat.
You know what?
Not online.
Leave me alone, Mims. Leave me alone. Talking about I was giving a Nene versus Dwight. Did you give Greg $5,000? Did you give $5,000? Or I was
Oh
also
my god.
giving your favorite. I won't say that's one of your favorite Nene quotes, but I introduced you to this quote when she was like, "Oh, you don't? Oh, you don't? Oh,
He's like,
we
we all. We said, oh. He's like, we
are."
all take responsibility. Oh, we all. He said, I don't do. Oh, you don't? Her in that red coat and that bun. It takes me to a
Oh,
higher place every time.
oh God. Oh my God.
Girl,
Nene.
in this show,
Oh
child.
yeah, so we'll be up here talking about some other shit. Look, my cousin said he'll be here in 10 minutes. 10 minutes and pass by. Child, I need to get to my car. What if somebody break into that shit? Ain't nothing in there for them to steal but my charger. But still, anyway. With that being said, y'all, we done. We gone for real. We gone for real. Until the next interview and until Boys Night Out, if her ass ain't producing and reciting scripts and stuff, she'll be there. But guess
Maybe.
what? Guess what though, y'all? Next month, at this point, 4 of the guys from Boys Night Out will be in Atlanta. We'll be in Atlanta for my birthday. We've turned it into a birthday trip now. So I'm
Mm.
gonna be there. Maddie's gonna be there. Josiah's gonna be there. The three of us bought our tickets. Jamar's already there, so we ain't gotta include him. But Terrence is the only one we're trying to see if he's going to make it. He did tell us that he is going to talk to his job and see if he can get off again. And we're gonna turn this into a boys' night out getaway, and we will be vlogging it. So
Child.
it's gonna be a lot. Jamar's gonna have the edibles. He's gonna get me high, and we're gonna have
Period.
a lovely time. Okay, but bitch, we gone for real now. Bye,
All right.
y'all. We out of here.